Hello. So now that everybody seems to be in self-imposed exile around the globe, and I'm on quarantine because I made the terrible error of having influenza 2 weeks ago, and now I'm back from Florida, the land of the sick. Anywho, so I thought I would share some of my survivalist tips and cooking and stuff in the kitchen with all y'all. So today I'm making wild mushroom soup thanks to Hazell Dell mushrooms. You'd have to ask Jared what kind I got because I don't remember. I know I got king trumpet mushrooms and then these really adorable little orangey ones and I can't remember the name. So Jared, if you're out there, please comment and let me know what kind of mushrooms I got because I don't remember. So one of the things that people use a lot in cooking is vegetable broth. And the thing about vegetable broth is it's expensive if you buy it in the carton. And the cubes of bouillon are all right, but they're pretty tasteless and really salty. So what I do is take all of the trimmings of my vegetables when I'm cutting them up and I stick them in a bag and I put them in the freezer. And then when that bag is full, I make vegetable broth. So I'd like to show you what that looks like. So I already made it with all of the vegetables that I cut up for this meal. And then take a peek. I cooked them for 3 hours with water and a little bit of salt. Now all I need to do is strain this, and I've got really great organic vegetable broth that is homemade. So the other cool thing is if you have backyard chickens or any kind of livestock, you can use all of that stuff one more time after you've strained all the broth out, and you can feed it to your chickens or whatever other critters you may have running around outside. So for this recipe, I'm using an Instant Pot because I'm lazy. But if you have a day that's cold outside and you want your house to smell really good, you can put it on the stove and stick it in a stock pot all day and cook it that way. It doesn't really matter. But again, I'm lazy, so I'm using the Instant Pot. So the other thing about the way that I cook is I don't really use a recipe, and I pretty much cook with whatever I have sitting around my house, which is a great thing when we're talking about end times because you never really know what kind of end times vegetables you're going to be stuck with at the end of the world. So for today, I got these little beauties. Again, I don't remember what they're called, but I thought they were adorable and I couldn't resist. And I've got some baby portobellos. So those are here and they're diced up really finely because my daughter hates the texture of mushrooms, but the flavor is delicious. So those go in the Instant Pot just like they are. Da 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 da. And then I have a full onion. Toss it in. And this is a small zucchini. I don't know why zucchini are more expensive at the store when they grow in your garden and you can't stop them from growing. So if you're doing like a victory garden this summer, I will have all kinds of zucchini tips for you later on because you know you can't really stop them from growing. Diced carrots. I like the veggies in this to be kind of small, so that's something to consider, but it's certainly up to you. And then for celery, for soups and stuff, I like to use the celery hearts and keep all those cute little greens in there because I just think it makes a lovely soup. So that goes in there. And then I like to put greens in my soup. So I had red kale in my fridge. So that's what's going in this one. But you can use collard greens or whatever kind of greens you want to use. It's really up to you. I like to dice those up kind of fine and then toss that in. That's the beauty of this. It really doesn't take any mind power. You just throw it in the pot. And then the last thing I'm going to put in is a cup of brown rice. But you can use wild rice or any other kind of rice you like. One more important thing to add to whatever soup you're making is a protein. I'm a weirdo vegetarian, so today I am using garbanzo beans. And they're organic, and I'm just going to dump them in with their liquid. But you could use cooked chicken if you wanted to, or you could use any other kind of bean, or you could use like vegetarian chicken tenders. It's really up to you. It's choice. It's a choice we all have to make. And then all I'm going to do is use enough of my broth to cover and then a little bit more than that. So up we go into the pot. Probably end up using most of this, but whatever I don't end up using can go in the refrigerator. So we can only fill this up to the line, which is right there, and a wee bit more. There we go. So now seasonings. So now is also a good time to start thinking about what's growing in my yard. Well, in my yard, I have herbs and onions and all kinds of stuff that come up in the spring. So I'm going to throw some of my time, spend some of my time throwing my time into the pot. And, you know, how much do you want? It's really up to you. Again, I don't use recipes. They're too stringent. I'm too much of a fly by the seat of my funky pants. Oh, just so you know, today is Ironic Pants Day at our house. Tomorrow, I'm guessing, is Crazy Hair Day. You know, we got to keep it light, keep it real. And I think that's about enough of that. Then I'm going to throw in 3 squashed garlic cloves because I feel too lazy to cut them up today. And some parsley. If my parsley were up in the yard, I would be putting fresh parsley in here, but it's not up yet. So I guess lame old dried parsley from the grocery store is what we've got. And then in my house, whoever gets the bay leaf, it's lucky. So I make sure and put enough bay leaves in here so everybody has a fighting chance. So 1, 2, 3 for the children. And then if they can't get a bay leaf with 3 of them in there, they weren't cut out for it anyway. Some salt. And you can choose to put salt in your broth if you want to, or you can just put it into the soup yourself so that you've got salt-free broth. And some pepper. And yeah, I think that'll do it. So after that, on goes the lid. And when you're using an Instant Pot, all you need to do is make sure that the cooking time is set for whatever is going to take the longest to cook in your Instant Pot. So for this example, brown rice is what's going to take the most time. So I'm going to, how do I work this machine? Hit multigrain, and it's going to start. It'll come up to pressure, which will take a while because there's so much liquid in here. And then once it's reached pressure, it'll cook for 25 minutes. Then it'll beep at me again, release the pressure, and we're done. Wild mushroom soup. Delicious.